Hello, it's Wednesday, so it must be time for Woolly Hat's Wednesday WIP. So you join me here again underneath the damson tree, and the sun's out, which is lovely. Excuse me. The reason for my coffee is because this week I had COVID, so I do apologise. And anyway, so the weather's nice temperature, not too hot, a little bit breezy. So hopefully the damsons won't be all falling on my head. A little bit time before we have to harvest them. I usually do it late August, so not far off. In fact, there's one. You can't see that there. Anyway. So what have I been up to this week? Well, I've been having COVID, but I have been able to do some knitting and crochet, and I managed to finish my crochet sock. This is one sock. This is the imitation cable pattern I've been doing in Mothy and the Squid sock yarn, which is lovely, merino, and it's called pomegranate shade. But it's rather yummy, and I love the little detail on the back there, the way that the toes pattern goes down there, so that was good. So I'm quite pleased with that. So I started the second one, excuse me, and that will be there for me to pick up and knit whenever I want to and whatever. It's been quite good actually this week because it's not been too difficult, and it's something I can do while watching television. Something I've not been able to do while watching television is starting my new project. So feeling a bit dull and foggy in my brain, what do I decide to do? I decided to do a complicated pattern, don't I? Anyway, so what I've decided to do is, I looked in my stash box and thought, I've got lots of stash, what can I do that's new and interesting? Well, last year I bought some kidsilk haze for a project I was doing, and because it was during lockdown, you couldn't buy you couldn't see the colours, true colours, so I bought quite a lot just to match it, so I've got a lot left over. So I thought, these two are rather yummy to go through. So this is Rowan kidsilk haze. It's a mixture of mohair and silk, and it is rather yummy. It's very thin, but if you knit it on big needles, it goes quite nice, and because it's mohair and fluffy, it does pad out quite nicely. So I thought, that would be nice for a scarf. So I thought, that looks quite nice, and it does, doesn't it? So this is brioche knitting, and it's still very popular. I did a little course last year, a little workshop last year, so might do another one. And it uses two colours, but on different lines, and it's got lots of terminology. So I've had to remind myself of the terminology and the techniques. So I didn't want to go straight into knitting with these because this is quite expensive and delicate yarn, and if you undo mohair, it's a nightmare. So I've been trying out the pattern with some double knit acrylic. So that's what the pattern is. So that's good because that's imprinted it into my mind, and I know what I'm doing. Because even with the chart, they've got a chart and also words. I find something like this more difficult to do on words, and I prefer the chart. But the chart is quite small. I might have to blow it up when I'm doing it for real. Here we go. So that's the chart. So it's quite faint to see, so I might have to blow that one up and do it. So so I'm quite pleased. I think that will make a nice little scarf. So I'm going to have a go at that. So I shall finish that shortly and go on to the next. And I would recommend that with, if you are doing some stitches you don't know about to practice before. I know that it's very exciting, get stuck in and whatever, but it'd be a shame to ruin your yarn and get put off with the project by having to unravel everything, especially with something like the kidsilk haze, which is quite difficult and mohair to unravel. So that's an exciting new project. I have got my other crochet project to finish as well, so it'll keep me out of mischief, won't it? So what else have I been doing? I think that's mostly been it. As you can imagine, with COVID, I've had to do a bit and then stop because my brain goes, ooh. But I haven't been able to do so. I've done quite a bit of reading and also watching the Commonwealth Games, which has been rather fantastic. And of course, even though I don't watch football, I watch the Lionesses on Sunday and Saturday, whichever day it was, I forget. But it was fab, wasn't it? So that was very uplifting and whatever. I was watching the gymnastics yesterday and thinking, I don't think if I worked ever so hard, I would ever get my body to do the things they do. They're absolutely incredible. And there was one bloke yesterday he was on the parallel bars, and he sort of was up there and he went like that and came righted himself. Absolutely incredible. However, we all have our things that we're good at and not so good at, so I'm sure, I know that gymnastics has never been my thing, but it's great to watch and great to see all their hard work getting to success. So anyway, so that's all for me this week. Sorry, I'm rambling. It's the COVID brain, or old age, or whatever. And I will see you next week from somewhere. I'm not quite sure where. Bye.